With the start of notification, campaigning for election to India's lower house of parliament has gathered momentum. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch BJP's election campaign in Uttar Pradesh on Sunday at a rally in Meerut. The BJP has fielded TV serial Rama and fame Arun Govil from Meerut Lok Sabha constituency. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Rashtriya Lok Dal President Jayant Chaudhary and several other BJP leaders will also be present at the rally. Uttar Pradesh will go to polls in 7 phases. The rally will serve as a precursor to a series of other events planned by BJP in coming week. On the other hand, opposition Indie Bloc organized a mega rally at Ram Leela Maidan in the national capital on Sunday. The rally was attended by leaders of Indie Alliance, including Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra of Indian National Congress, Kalpana Soren, wife of former Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Tejasvi Yadav of RJD, while Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal read out his message from the jail. Other leaders who attended the rally included veteran leader Sharad Pawar, AAP leader Atishi, TMC leader Derek O'Brien, Samajwadi Party leader Akhilesh Yadav. As the dates of India's general elections are near, political leaders across different spectrum have ramped up their election campaign. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin participated in election campaign in Erode, southern state of Tamil Nadu. In Arunachal Pradesh Assembly elections, 10 lawmakers from BJP in fact have been declared elected unopposed after the last date of withdrawal of nominations on Saturday. Arunachal Pradesh is going to simultaneous polls for its 60-seat legislative assembly and 2 parliamentary constituency on April 19 next month in a single phase. India's President Draupadi Murmu conferred the Bharat Ratna, the country's highest civilian honour, on former Deputy Prime Minister Lal Krishna Advani at his residence in New Delhi. President Murmu paid a visit to senior BJP leader L.K. Advani's residence and conferred him with the prestigious award. This was decided keeping in view the ailing health of L.K. Advani. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and former Vice President Venkaiah Naidu were also present on the occasion. In 1970, L.K. Advani became a member of Rajya Sabha and held a seat till 1989. He was elected president of the BJS and continued at the helm until 1977. L.K. Advani served as the Home Minister and later as the Deputy Prime Minister in cabinet of Atal Bihari Vajpayee between 1999 to 2004. President of India Draupadi Murmu presented Bharat Ratna, India's highest civilian award, at an investiture ceremony held at Rashtrapati Bhavan on Saturday. It is awarded for exceptional services and performance of the highest order in any field of human endeavour.
Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian award in India, rewarded for the paramount degrees of national service and recognition of exceptional performance in any field of human endeavour. President Draupadi Murmu awarded the posthumous Bharat Ratna award to former Prime Ministers Chaudhry Charan Singh and P.V. Narasimha Rao, along with former Bihar Chief Minister Karpuri Thakur and agronomist M.S. Swaminathan. Their relatives expressed the joy and pride while receiving the award as they remembered the luminaries. Chaudhry Charan Singh, the former Prime Minister of India, was a multifaceted personality, an ardent patriot and an able administrator. He was also known to be a great scholar of Indian economics and planning. His grandson Jayant Chaudhary was thankful to the Indian government for recognizing the efforts of Chaudhry Charan Singh as an Indian citizen.
I am very happy. My family was here. Many members have come from abroad to witness this historic occasion. And we are all feeling very, very proud for our countrymen, for the long journey that my grandfather took from the village to the echelons of power. And it has been recognized at the highest level. The highest civilian award has been bestowed upon him. And through that award, I feel that same spirit of pride and emotion is being felt across the country today.
Karpuri Thakur, the former Chief Minister of Bihar, was a freedom fighter, a visionary statesman and a champion of the cause of farmers, women and disadvantaged sections of the society. His son Ramnath Thakur reiterated the politician's effort for the weaker communities of the society and expressed his gratitude for the award.
मैं बहुत खुश हूँ और मैं ही नहीं, पूरे बिहार के लोग, पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लोग जो उपेक्षित थे, दुखी थे, भारत सरकार ने ये समझा कि जननायक कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी को भारत रत्न दिया जाए और उन्होंने 36 वर्षों के बाद दिया।
Dr. Monakombu Sambasivan Swaminathan was the legendary father of India's Green Revolution. His role was instrumental in creation of agricultural research in other developing countries as well. He brought attention to women in rice farming and strengthened agricultural research across Southeast Asia. His daughter Nitya Rao remembered her father's work while expressing gratitude for the award.
We are very happy that he has received this honour today. His whole life was dedicated to farmers' welfare and farmers' well-being, and his biggest dream was that India should be not just a food secure but also a nutrition secure country where every citizen will have sufficient good quality food to eat and no one will go to bed hungry.
All the recipients of Bharat Ratna Award have been honoured for their dedication towards the country and their distinguished contribution in their respective fields. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, truce talks between Israel and Hamas will resume on Sunday in Cairo, and this is the latest attempt to bring about a pause after nearly 6 months of conflict in the Gaza Strip. On Saturday, Egyptian Foreign Affairs Minister Sameh Shoukry met in Cairo with his counterparts from France and Jordan, with the situation in Gaza at the forefront of talks. Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi urged Israel to open land crossings for aid to enter.
We can deal with the famine that Gaza's people are facing in a very short time. What is needed is that Israel opens the land crossing from aid to enter from Egypt and from Jordan and to stop denying entry of aid. When renowned international organizations say more than 1 million Palestinians are facing famine, all that Gaza's population are suffering the highest level of hunger and food shortage, then we are facing a real catastrophe.
Egyptian Foreign Affairs Minister Sameh Shoukry met his counterparts from France and Jordan in Cairo on Saturday, with the situation in Gaza at the forefront of talks. Speaking at a press conference alongside Shoukry and France's Stéphane Séjourné, Jordanian Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi said famine in Gaza can be dealt with in a short time if Israel opened the land crossings for aid to enter. Aid agencies say food delivered by sea to enclave, though welcome, cannot meet people's needs, and they have urged Israel to allow more aid to arrive by land. Well, the Houthi-run Sana'a-based Central Bank of Yemen issued new currency coin, the move aimed at replacing the damaged banknotes in Houthi-governed areas in North Yemen. This marks the first time they have issued a currency since they captured the capital, Sana'a, in late 2014. Yemeni Riyal is issued and controlled by the Central Bank of Yemen, based in the southern city of Aden, in interim capital of the internationally recognized government. The Aden-based CBY, which is recognized by the international community as the legitimate Central Bank of Yemen, warned the Houthis 2 days ago about issuing any counterfeit currency. And Israel launched fresh strikes on alleged Hamas infrastructure in Gaza on Saturday, even as US has purported to have authorized delivery of more bombs and warplanes for Israel. Meanwhile, an airstrike in Lebanon wounded 4 UN officials. The United Nations has also confirmed that several UN observers were injured while on patrol in southern Lebanon. The exact details of the strike are still being established, and Israel denies any involvement. Alex Kadia reports from Tel Aviv.
Well, 3 United Nations observers have been injured in southern Lebanon, as well as their Lebanese translator. There were initial reports that this was an Israeli strike targeting the car in which they were traveling, but the United Nations has since clarified that a shell exploded near these 4 people while they were on a foot patrol outside of town in southern Lebanon. And we know that the Israeli armed forces have denied any involvement in this particular strike. They were carrying out their observing roles as the peacekeeping force of the United Nations on the Israeli-Lebanon border, known as the Blue Line. But it really shows that despite the UN clarifying and Israel denying any involvement, that this is an incredibly dangerous area in which to be operating. We know that Hezbollah has fired rockets into northern Israel just in the last 24 hours. Lots of rocket alerts across the populations living there, most of whom have had to be evacuated, but also Israel striking back against Hezbollah in Lebanon, in Syria, and Israel's defense minister saying they will pick up the pace, they will expand their attacks, and they will shift from defending against Hezbollah now towards pursuing that group into Lebanon, into Syria, into Beirut, into Damascus if they have to, said Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, and further afield if needed. So certainly a risk of escalation in that conflict. Now in Gaza, the war rages on. We have had Israeli airstrikes there. We've had the Israeli raid on Al-Shifa hospital ongoing with hundreds killed in that particular raid. We also have families being trapped in the rubble after Israeli airstrikes in Khan Yunis and other parts of Gaza. But perhaps a small lifeline of hope. The second ship, aid ship, is sailing from Cyprus now with 400 tons of food on board: flour, rice, vegetables, canned goods, anything the starving population in Gaza may need. It will take more than 60 hours to get there, and then we'll have to unload on this makeshift pier built by these charities out of the rubble of the destroyed houses in Gaza. 1 million meals on their way to the devastated Gaza Strip as this war rages on for another day. Alex Kadye in Tel Aviv reporting for DD India.
Somalia Parliament voted for historical amendments in its constitution that led to major changes. After the changes, now country's president has the authority to appoint and dismiss a prime minister from office. This change came due to major disputes revolving around the distribution of power between the top two officers. The constitutional amendment has also paved the way for the presence of 3 political parties in country, promoting multi-party system. The amendment also sets the term of office for government constitutional bodies at 5 years. In fact, Independent Constitutional Review Commission submitted proposed amendments that established the age of maturity for girls at 15 and the age of responsibility at 18. Well, let's see what's happening around the world. Japanese health officials searched a Kobayashi pharmaceutical factory in Osaka after the drug maker reported 5 deaths, possibly linked to dietary supplements using red yeast rice. A body cam footage captured the moment a suspected shoplifter was chased and detained by police on horseback in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Authorities said the man stole $230 worth of merchandise from the store. Residents in the capital of Crimea brought flowers and lit candles in memory of the victims of the deadly concert hall attack near Russia's Moscow that left 144 people dead. All right, and still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Zelensky accuses Russia of carrying out wild strikes on Ukrainian energy. Ceremony held in Japan's Okinawa to mark first local deployment of surface-to-ship missiles on the main island of Okinawa. Ceremonies held across the world to mark Easter, the most important festival in the Christian calendar. आपने एंड टाइम पे कैमरा 2 क्यों बोला?
When the biggest democracy chooses to write another chapter in its glorious history. Development, justice, regionalism, a big political canvas. Everything will be put to test in this mega battle for glory. DD India dissects what makes elections 2024 the battle royale in Indian politics. Data and analysis free from bias to help you understand why India matters. Great Indian Election on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. only on DD India.
We try to understand what are the opportunities and challenges that come with renewable energy.
In terms of the radiation is better. When you compare to other districts in Gujarat, then we found a better elevation for WTG generation.
Solar panels and wind turbines, they kind of have a mind of their own. So you can increase generation to meet demand. You can also lower demand to kind of meet supply somewhere in the middle.
It uses a renewable resource, the sun, to generate power, so it's quite good. We do have the option of plugging the cold room to the power grid.
Typically, a balcony system consists of 1 or 2 solar modules. These modules contain crystals that convert sunlight into direct current, or DC. This inverter then turns the DC into AC, which is the type of electrical current used in households.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Bharat. The head of Ukraine's largest private energy firm, DTEK, said 5 of its 6 plants had been destroyed on Saturday. 80% of plants generating capacity were lost after 2 weeks of Russian attacks. The repairs could take up to 18 months. DTEK executive director said the waves of attacks had hit thermal and hydro production in almost all regions, which distribution facilities were destroyed. He added the company suffered losses amounting to $300 million. In fact, Russian missile and drone attacks hit thermal and hydropower plants in central and western Ukraine overnight on Friday.
Russian terrorists are now targeting such vile strikes to cause the energy bleeding of Ukraine. We gave all necessary signals to our partners, all the specific requests to everyone who has the necessary air defense systems, to everyone who has the necessary missiles. America, Europe, and our other partners. Everyone knows what we need. Everyone knows how important it is right now to help us protect ourselves from these blows at this very moment.
Volodymyr Zelensky's term as Ukraine's president is set to expire in May this year. But the election, which was supposed to be held at the end of March, has been postponed because of the ongoing war. Our correspondent Megumi Lim spoke to people in Kiev about their thoughts on Zelensky's extended presidency.
Since its independence in 1991, Ukraine has held 6 presidential elections. But this year will be the first time it will be missing one. Martial law was declared in the country when Russia launched its full-scale invasion in 2022, and the law prohibits any form of elections. Now there are worries the war could hurt the country's democracy.
So I think that unfortunately we have challenges for democracy. We have eroding of democracy in Ukraine because some things the government started to like the situation when they're not questions in the way they were questioned before.
Political opponents have criticized that parliamentary procedures are not being broadcast publicly like they used to be. And the current government-led news programming, which broadcasts a united message on the war, has drawn criticism that it drowns out diverse voices. But among these concerns, holding off elections were not at the top.
Many Ukrainians believe that elections should not be held until the end of the war. According to a poll conducted by the Kiev Institute of Sociology last month, 69% supported Zelensky remaining in office for as long as martial law was in place.
Last year, with the urging of U.S. officials, President Zelensky briefly entertained the idea of finding a way to carry out elections. But with the constant shelling of cities and millions of soldiers fighting on the front lines, security became an issue. Along with fairness, as people living under Russian occupation would not be able to take part. Many also warn a change in leadership now would be disruptive.
Zelensky has already established contacts and agreements with representatives of other countries, so it would be probably very difficult for the new leader because he would have to do it all over again. We would just be wasting our time. Therefore, it would be logical to end the war and then hold elections.
But experts say there could be more room for opposing voices.
Incorporate into decision-making his political opponent, and this would legitimize his authority as well, because the society would see that he is willing to hear the alternative voice, and he is willing to accept criticism.
Democracy is something Ukrainians have spent decades fighting for. But with Russia's invasion, the country's survival has now become their utmost priority. Megumi Lim in Kiev reporting for DD India.
Ambassadors and staff of foreign diplomatic missions accredited in Russia visited the makeshift memorial to the victims of Crocus City concert hall attack. In a ceremony organized by the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the diplomats laid floral tributes on the memorial. Earlier, Russian investigators said that they had found proof that the concert hall gunmen were linked to Ukrainian nationalists. The assertion was dismissed by the United States as baseless propaganda. Ukraine has denied the allegations on it. Voting in the Istanbul municipality elections commenced on Sunday in Turkey with a tense competition between President Tayyip Erdogan's AKP and the opposition party CHP. Polling stations opened at 7 a.m. in eastern Turkey and 8 a.m. elsewhere, with over 6.61 million people registered to vote. Voting will conclude at 5 p.m. and initial results are anticipated by 10 p.m. About 90 people, including defense officials, attended a ceremony in Japan's southern prefecture of Okinawa to mark the first local deployment of surface-to-ship missiles on the main island of Okinawa, in a move to bolster its defense capabilities on its remote islands against potential threats. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte's house gets raided as part of inquiries into possible illicit failure to declare ownership of luxury watches. Earlier, prosecutors began preliminary inquiries following a media report that the president possessed several Rolex watches. Boluarte has acknowledged that she owns Rolex watches which she had bought with money since she was young. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte said she would not resign after her house was raided as part of inquiries into possible illicit enrichment and failure to declare ownership of luxury watches.
I've always said I'm an honest woman. I took office with clean hands, and thus I will retire from the presidency in 2026. I have attended the prosecutor's office by appointing my lawyers and making myself available so that the Dawn measures are arbitrary, disproportionate and abusive. The situation is serious and affects my family's rights, but above all, the country's governance. Brothers and sisters, the president has been systematically attacked.
The world celebrates Easter Day today. On Sunday, the festival marks the celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection and is a symbol of love and compassion. Easter gives the message that truth is eternal and shows us the path of sacrifice and forgiveness. The teachings of Jesus Christ guide us on the path of peace and harmony, symbolizing victory over death and sin. Devotees in India's Kerala thronged churches across the state since the wee hours to attend the special prayers and services held to mark the holy occasion. While leading the masses, bishops and priests imparted the message of hope and spiritual revival to them. Fervor of Easter celebrations also witnessed in India's Tamil Nadu, where priests and locals marked the festival by spreading brotherhood and harmony. Telecom company AT&T said on Saturday that it is investigating a data set released on the dark web about 2 weeks ago. The preliminary analysis shows data leak has impacted approximately 7.6 million current account holders and 65.4 million former account holders. The company said the data set appears to be from 2019 or earlier. AT&T said it does not have evidence of unauthorized access to its systems resulting from the incident. The company said it's not yet known whether the data originated from AT&T or from one of its vendors. AT&T said the incident has not had a material impact on its operations and said the source of data is still being assessed. AT&T is in contact with all those impacted and has reset passcodes for 7.6 million current customers. It also said it will offer credit monitoring wherever applicable. The wireless carrier's 5G network covers around 290 million people across the United States. Let's take a look at other stories making news today. A sudden fire broke out late night in a scrap godown in Bhiwandi Taluka of Thane district, resulting in the burning of 15 to 20 scrap godowns. The cause of the fire is still not clear, but no loss of life reported so far. Meanwhile, a vehicle of Bhiwandi Fire Brigade has reached the spot to control the fire. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal distributed awards in Jeeto Ahimsa Run for Peace in Mumbai. The Ahimsa Run aims to create awareness for a better world, to stop wars and hatred, and an attempt to bring peace and non-violence in the surroundings. IMD has forecast isolated heavy rainfall over northern eastern states till Monday, with the possibility of very heavy falls over Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Meghalaya on Sunday. According to IMD, heat waves and warm night conditions are likely over central and peninsular India for the next 5 days. The Bihar School Examination Board BESB have announced Class 10th result today. The BESB chairman Anand Kishore declared the Bihar Board Class 10 results along with the merit list. On to sports now. Gujarat Titans will take on Sunrisers Hyderabad in the match 12 at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad today. Both teams have 2 points from as many games in the competition so far. Gujarat Titans faced Mumbai Indians last week at home, and the new captain Shubman Gill led his side to a nerve-wracking 6-run win against the former 5-time champions. Sunrisers will also be high on confidence after their stupendous batting performance against Mumbai. Meanwhile, later in the day, Delhi Capitals will take on Chennai Super Kings at Dr. Y.S. Rajashekar Reddy Cricket Stadium in Visakhapatnam. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.